Western North Carolina. Whew, that was a lot, huh? I wanted to jump on, do a video. I wanted to talk about what we expect from the storm. I'm getting a lot of calls and questions about what's the market going to do? How are we going to see that show up, and what can we expect? We're getting that both from the agents at Keller Williams, we're getting it from Unique Real Estate Collective, and I'm getting it from agents all across different brands. It's a conversation that's top of mind. Number one, I hope you and your family are doing the best you can in the situation. I think it's important that we don't lose sight of that. This was a big deal, a lot of devastation, and like nothing I've ever seen. I grew up here and it's been a lot. But I did want to offer you a little bit of hope, historically speaking. So I actually got with the research team at Keller Williams. We looked at post-storm data from Katrina, Harvey, and the floods at Baton Rouge, and I wanted to give you some data, historically speaking, on what you can expect from the market. First thing to think about is there's two distinct phases, and those phases are going to come into effect. There's a loss phase, which is where we have the recoil in the market that's relative to the event, how we respond to the event, the loss of power or water, the inability to close, and just the general hesitancy that we're seeing emotionally. The next phase is recovery. Here's the good news. Historically speaking, we have 1 to 2 months of loss. So let's talk about Katrina. So for example, immediately after the storm, we saw about a 90% reduction in units closed. There was no power, there was no water, people emotionally weren't set to close. But we saw by the second month, we were only 20% under on units closed. And by the third month, we were actually above market trends. So what that means is we can expect a loss period. And when I say loss, I mean a reduction in units closed for up to 1 to 2 months. Then after the second month, we're going to move into phase 2, and that's a recovery phase. The recovery phase is where we'll expect the market to go into recovery. And that recovery can last anywhere from 3 to 4 months. Now, there was an outlier with Katrina, because Katrina actually went 9 months, but 80% of the homes in New Orleans were damaged. And we saw 50% of that population be displaced. They actually left and registered their children in other markets. In Western North Carolina, what I'm anticipating is that we'll be more similar to like a Harvey or a Baton Rouge event, where we're looking at 1 to 2 months of loss. So that's when the market's going to recoil. We're going to see closing by units go down. Pricing's going to stay rather consistent because we have displaced families. We've got a lot of urgency and a lot of cumulative pressure on the market for homes that are being repaired or replaced, or families that are being displaced from their original dwelling. After that, we're going to see the recovery phase, and it works like a pendulum. We're going to see supply and demand suggests we're going to see a little bit more action than probably the market as a whole, and then that's going to even out, and probably will end up anywhere from 1 to 2% below the market average once we stabilize. But keep this in mind. Our market is going to be more sensitive based off of the amount of damage and the amount of government assistance we get and the efficiency. So the faster we can get help to our community, the faster the government gets in, the faster we see relief efforts, we'll have a faster response to recovery. Now, of course, our friends and families that are in more remote rural areas are going to have lower amounts of aid, lower amounts of attention. Those are going to recover a little bit more slowly than we'll see in the more municipal areas. So there's hope. I wanted you to, number one, I hope you're okay. I know it was hard. I'm personally without water, and it's been a difficult 3 weeks. But I want you to know, as far as the market goes and your investment here in Western North Carolina, history suggests that we're going to recover from this and recover well from it. I need you to be patient. I need you to be community-based. And faith over fear. We love you, Western North Carolina, and we're going to continue to do whatever we can to support you and help offer information, support, knowledge, consultation toward owning a home or selling a home, what that could look like, and the timing that it should go through. I'm one of you. I've been here my whole life, and this has been devastating. It's been a hard pivot, but we're together. I was going to bed the other night and I showed my 8-year-old son a video of all the destruction in Asheville. And he said something that really got to me. He said, "Papa, it doesn't matter what a storm does. It can destroy us. It can break a lot of things. But," he said, "it can't break connection." And that literally brought me to tears, because what I've seen in the last 3 weeks is more connection and community than I could have ever imagined. I want you to know we're here for you. We love you. And please reach out if you have any questions or comments. Doing our best to educate you and support you through this. Stay strong, Western North Carolina. Things are going up.